Welcome to the tactical third-person shooter hybrid for the Xbox Arcade. I'll be sharing with you a mix of beginner and advanced tips and tricks to spice up your kitty and your winning sprees. Let's get this started with tip number 1. Remember that by pressing A on the default controls, you can decide which side of the cover you will land on mid-flight. So instead of vaulting over, your character will fly over and land on the other side. Losing this extra moment of exposure can mean the difference between life and death. Learn to retreat. Sometimes we can't always push forward, but we must retreat in order to avoid being outnumbered or grenaded. When you move from cover to cover, the retreat button will send you back from your previous cover. Instead of spending an extra half second to turn around, the retreat button will allow you for more evasive maneuvers. Being shot while flying will slow you slightly, so keep this in mind when you're engaging an opponent who already knows you're coming. While flying from cover to cover, you could boost roughly every 3 seconds. You could strafe left and right, and you can descend or ascend. When you are moving towards another player, try flying upward to shoot over his cover. You can stay mid-air by selecting new cover before reaching your original cover. You may also bounce between two covers by advancing, retreating, advancing, and so forth. With the exception of the game type tactics, your team and enemy positions will affect the spawn locations for everyone. As a general rule of thumb, you will either spawn by a teammate who is out of combat or a position that isn't already compromised by an enemy unit. As a result, if your teammates aren't positioned correctly, the enemy team may spawn at your flank. Spawn the Warbringer when engaging or defending. The Warbringer can be used for engagements by spawning it as close to your enemy as possible. This will allow the Warbringer to tank some shots for you, and will also effectively damage the other player. The Warbringer can be used defensively by spawning it when an enemy is closing in on your position. This will either force your opponent to retreat, or they'll suffer the incoming barrage from the Warbringer. Spawn the Stalker as soon as possible. The Stalker will shoot whatever you're shooting, and it will duck whenever you duck. Having one as soon as possible will ensure the quickest response to a random enemy engagement. Try to hold the temptation of immediately destroying an abandoned Stalker. Follow it for a bit, and it may lead you to its unsuspecting owner. Spawn the Praeon at close range. The Praeon can be used defensively and offensively. Remember, Praeons only target other enemy players or enemy Praeons. You should usually spawn the Praeon when you know an enemy is within 2 to 3 seconds of your position. This will ensure that your opponent will not have enough time to shoot down your Praeon. Remember, the Praeon can be destroyed, so use it decisively. Kill streaks include both player and bot kills. You and your bots will contribute to this kill streak. Therefore, whatever your bot kills will go towards your kill streak. Remember, dying will only end your kill streak, but will not erase the bots you have already earned. Bots awarded from kill streaks will not stack. Therefore, you cannot simultaneously spawn 2 Stalkers, Warbringers, or Praeons. Doing so will result in destroying the original bot for the new one to take its place. Warbringers are easy targets because they're slow and hard to miss. Try to refrain from using Warbringers the moment you earn them. After all, you don't want to be feeding enemy kill streaks with your exposed Warbringers. If you're having trouble racking up kills, try to focus on destroying stray Warbringers or Stalkers. Before you know it, you'll be earning yourself a Praeon for a player kill. Killing a bot will not count towards your kill to death ratio or your team deathmatch score. However, enemies slain by your bots will count towards these things. Listen for the Praeon screams. The noise around you will fade away, and the only thing you hear is the screams of a bloodthirsty Praeon. If this happens, the Praeon is only after you, so prepare yourself. It is important to know when you should blind fire. You should use blind fire under 2 different scenarios. The first scenario is when your opponent is directly on the opposite side of your cover. The second scenario is when your opponent is within 1 to 2 seconds of your position. Blind firing under these circumstances will make you a harder target to hit, and most guns' maximum effectiveness are up close. Zooming while flying will make you more accurate, but you'll move a lot slower. Although blind firing decreases your accuracy, you should almost always blind fire Warbringers because their large size makes them difficult to miss. This will allow you to destroy enemy Warbringers without exposing yourself to sniper fire. Strafe in cover. This includes moving left and right, or even vaulting over cover. A moving target is always harder to hit. Well, it looks like that about wraps it up. Cook yourself up more wins with these tips and tricks. Don't forget to marinate with experience. I hope you guys enjoy these tips. Please leave a comment below if you have more tips to share.